Well, it's going to be an interesting time in the UK, and it's certainly going to be an interesting time with NATO. NATO has not treated us fairly, but I think we'll work something out. We pay far too much, and they pay far too little. But we will work it out, and all countries will be happy. The UK, that's a situation that's been going on for a long time. So I have NATO. I have the UK, which is in somewhat turmoil, and I have Putin. Frankly, Putin may be the easiest of them all. Who would think? Who would think? But the UK certainly has they have a lot of things going on. I have not. No, I have not. But Boris Johnson's a friend of mine. He's been very, very nice to me, very supportive. And maybe we'll speak to him when I get over there. I like Boris Johnson. I've always liked him. Well, that's up to the people. I get along with her very well, have a very good relationship. That's certainly up to the people, not up to me. Well, we do have a lot of allies, but we cannot be taken advantage of. We're being taken advantage of by the European Union. We lost $151 billion last year on trade. And on top of that, we spend at least 70% for NATO. And frankly, it helps them a lot more than it helps us. So we'll see what happens. We have a long, beautiful week. I will say also, last night was an incredible evening. Brett Kavanaugh's gotten rave reviews, actually from both sides. And I think it's going to be a beautiful thing to watch over the next month. But he has gotten rave reviews. I really can't say right now. As far as I'm concerned, it's a competitor. I think that getting along with Russia, getting along with China, getting along with others is a good thing, not a bad thing. I've said that many times for many years. So we'll see. We're meeting with Vladimir Putin on Monday. We'll see how that goes. They didn't give it. I have it for him. They didn't give it, but it will be given at a certain period. I actually do have a little gift for him, but you'll find out what that gift is when I give it. Okay? Mr. President. No, I haven't. I really haven't. We haven't discussed it. Well, I have a solution. Tell people not to come to our country illegally. That's the solution. Don't come to our country illegally. Come like other people do. Come legally. Mr. President. I'm saying this very simply. We have laws, we have borders. Don't come to our country illegally. It's not a good thing. And as far as ICE is concerned, the people that are fighting ICE, it's a disgrace. These people go into harm's way. There is nobody under greater danger than the people from ICE. What they do to MS-13 and everything else. So we ought to support ICE, not do what the Democrats are doing. Democrats want open borders, and they don't mind crime. We want no crime, and we want borders where borders mean something, all right? And remember this, without borders, you do not have a country. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
President leaving for Brussels with really a comment on a lot of the hot button issues, a lot of the news issues that are unfolding now. But he's heading to Brussels to meet with our NATO allies. But he's been really outspoken and critical of NATO. Just earlier this week, tweeting that NATO countries must pay more, the United States must pay less, very unfair. But the NATO meeting is one of 3 meetings he's going to be having. After Brussels, he heads to the United Kingdom, where he's going to be meeting with Theresa May. Now, if you saw earlier, Vlad, in the week, somebody had petitioned to have a big Trump baby balloon floated.
It was approved.
Yes,
the
it was
approved. Right. Approved it.
So that just gives you an indication that he's probably going to receive some pushback, at least from some people, in London.
Well, the reporting is that the president is not going to be visiting any of the typical locations where past presidents have visited. It's going to be kept away, more or less, from public sites. He's not meeting the Queen at Buckingham Palace, which has typically been the norm. He's meeting her at Windsor Castle, which is a little bit harder to get to and not as visible in terms of like the entrances going in and out. So yeah,
and the expectation is there's going to be some protests. But it's also a really interesting time for Theresa May. You heard the president mention that Boris Johnson, foreign secretary, just resigned, rather dramatically resigned. He's upset about the way Brexit is going, and the president was an outspoken supporter of Brexit. So, he's arriving in the United Kingdom at a time when there are many issues, many heated issues unfolding. And then after that, what he described as probably the easiest meeting out of them all, he heads to Helsinki to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
It will be interesting to find out from our White House correspondents why the president thinks meeting with probably the world leader who is America's biggest adversary, with the exception of perhaps the Ayatollahs in Iran and Kim Jong-un, who, according to the president, now has a handshake and a contract, and so they're good. Why he would think that President Putin is going to be the easiest meeting that he has on his agenda, because according to all the intelligence agencies in the United States, who've already made very clear that Putin and the Russians meddled in the 2016 election, they are also saying that they're attempting to do it again. And so it's unclear why the president feels that it will be a good meeting. But he does say that he has a good relationship with Vladimir Putin. So we'll look to see what the reporting is on that. And as you heard there in the last moments before he boarded Marine One, the president was asked a question about immigration, and the president saying something that I think all Americans agree with, which is do not come to the United States illegally. The question is not whether or not you should come to the country illegally. Everybody agrees you should not.
Right.
But the question now is there's a deadline that has been given to the government to reunite separated children with their family members, and the deadline is not going to be met.
Right. Thanks,